Hey guys, Alex Man here, back again. Got a new video for you today. Today we're going to be working on this Ford Ranger. Let's see what we're up to. Alright, so here's the inside of my 93 Ford Ranger, standard cab. And you can see we got the 60/40 split bench there with the little fold-up armrest thing there for the center seat. So not a lot of storage. These things commonly break where they pivot. This one's been kind of ghetto repaired by one of the previous owners. And there's not a lot of storage in here. This freaking latch thing doesn't really work very well. Whenever I tilt it back to, have the middle seat there, it opens up and all the stuff falls out. So I never really use the middle seat, but well, sometimes my dogs sit there or whatever. But anyway, never used the middle seat. So today I'm going to be putting a center console and a real, whatever you want to call it, a bucket seat in there. It's not really much of a bucket, it's actually pretty much the same seat, except this is not going to have a middle seat. So anyway, let's see what we got here, parts-wise. Alright, so everything you see here came out of a 93, same year, Ford Explorer. The pattern here on the seat matches mine. And these are actually the seat cushions and the seat covers factory off of the passenger side of that truck, that Explorer. So you can see there's a lot less wear on it because the passenger seat doesn't get used as much, and if there was any wear, it would be on the opposite side from the person sliding into the truck from the opposite side. So that's good. Here's the armrest, which is in remarkably good shape, especially for a junkyard truck. Actually, the inside of this Explorer was in real nice shape. And here's the center console, which still has some of these little cubby removable pieces, which I bet are hard to find if you're looking for them. I bet a lot of them get thrown out. But this one's got it, and it looks like it's got some Cheerios in there and some candy wrappers. Those slots I bet are perfect to hold cassette tapes, if you have a cassette tape player. So anyway, got a nice little center console here. It's in nice shape. It's a little dirty, but nothing that won't clean up. It's not broken or anything severe, so should be good. And I also got the bracket here, so that holds it to the floor. So the Ranger does not have the factory provisions, the threaded holes or whatever in the floor to mount that center console, so we're going to have to poke some holes in the carpet, drill some holes in the floor, and kind of make those provisions to hold everything on there, but that shouldn't be difficult at all. So, alright, now these are in pretty nice shape, but they are a little bit dirty, and I don't know what kind of activities have happened on these seats, so I'm going to take the covers off and actually throw them in the washing machine on the delicate cycle and see if we can get them cleaned up a little bit. That way they're not so, that way they're cleaner. Yeah. So there's the seat covers off of the foam. So it's kind of interesting, these are just kind of velcroed in to keep them tight to the contour of the cushions there. So that's kind of different. Other vehicles I've seen, they use hog rings and some wires in there, and it was a little bit more difficult to assemble. I guess this works just as good. It's certainly easy to take apart. Might work. Maybe. I don't know. Alright, let's see how this all turned out. Looks pretty good. Stuff actually came really clean. There's a couple little spots on here that maybe aren't perfect, but some of that might have just been me in the junkyard not being careful, so whatever. I'm very happy with how these look, and they're actually in much better shape than the ones that are in my truck now. So let's get to putting it together. Also cleaned up the center console. That cleaned up real well. It was actually pretty clean to begin with. Had some soda spillage in the cup holders, but everything looks pretty good. I'm happy. So let's put this in. So the first step is to remove the seat. It's held down by some 13mm headed hex bolts. Let's pop all those out. So with the seats out, you can see all this yellow stuff is the seat foam that's been deteriorating and falling out from the seat. So we'll be hopefully alleviating that problem. Alright, so there's the driver's side seat out. Now what we got to do is we got to remove this. Well, we actually just got to remove pretty much all the stuff from the frame, anything that's covered in cloth. So let's get to doing that. Little cap here. Feels like a Torx bit in there. Alrighty, there she is. Alright, so we got the armrest thing off. I don't know what this is exactly for, but that's on there. The bolt was really hard to get out. Yeah, it's cross-threaded there, so you can see the threads are all mangled. Okay, so we're just removing the set screw. It's not in there very tight, so I'm just pulling it out by hand. Alright, once that's out, then this falls off. Now we got that all off. Looking here at the bottom of the seat, there's this bracket that one of the previous owners added, and this supports that armrest because they're kind of weak from the factory, so I'm going to pull that off. Alright, there's a couple of Phillips screws hold this cover on, and underneath it here is a bolt. Let's pivot to the seat. Ooh, dusty. Very dusty. Okay. So this here is actually a bolt welded onto another bolt, so it's got kind of a weird head on it. Just gonna have to remove this one with vice grips. This might take a while. Alright, now we should be able to separate the seat. Maybe. Nope, we forgot one of the bolts. Alright, there's the top separated from the bottom. Okay. Not terribly concerned about keeping this thing clean, since we know it's going to be coming all apart. Alright. Seat covers are just held on with these pieces here. Just kind of unwrap them. Looks like I might have to remove the seat rail to make this easier. Just lift the seat bracket off the seat cushion. Alright, so here's the fun part. We get to actually turn this seat into a single person seat. So we're just going to take an angle grinder here. I'm just going to chop this off right along here, and then we'll be good to go. So let's hope it comes out nice. Alright, so the passenger seat bracket has been chopped off there, and I rounded and smoothed all the edges there as much as I felt was necessary. It doesn't need to be perfect. And I guess now we're ready to do the same to the seat back, although it won't be as severe. All we got to do is get rid of that little post where the armrest used to pivot on. Alright, so to get this seat apart, we just pry this plastic piece off of here. That opens it up. There's another clip up here. And with those two clips out, now we can get the seat cover off of the seat back frame, which is right there. So here's the bracket that we need to remove in order to turn this seat back into a bucket seat back, not a half bench thingamajig seat back. So I guess we'll just chop it right there, and call it good. Let's get to it. Alright, first thing is to get the seat cover back onto the cushion. So open it up nice and wide. It's just held on there with some Velcro, so we're going to try to keep the Velcro from touching first until we get it positioned. Because that Velcro actually works pretty darn good. That's simple enough. Then we'll just slide the seat frame over there. Alright, that's done. Now we're just going to clip this back onto itself. Alright, we'll do the bottom next. Same thing, set the cushion into the cover here. It seems to be pretty well aligned to me. Now we'll take our freshly modified seat pan. Drop it into the foam. Alrighty, now let's put them back together. Okay, so over here you can see there's a hole. Because I'm swapping this cover from a passenger side Explorer to the driver's side of this Ranger, So that hole is now useless, and there is no hole over here for the pivot. So we'll just have to poke a hole there. Not a big deal at all. Just cut that with a knife, and we'll be good to go. And now the seats are pretty much ready to reinstall. Alrighty. And I did take the time to vacuum out underneath where the seat bolts while I had it out. And there she is, all bolted down. Let's have a seat and see how she feels. Alrighty. Ooh, yeah, definitely better. The seat feels like it's got way more cushion, because it does. I'm not falling off the left side because all the foam is deteriorated. And yeah, it's definitely a lot more cushy. It's even got, I mean, it's not like a bucket seat like a racing seat or anything, but it does have a little bit of contour here, a little bit of bolster, and that was all worn out on mine, so it definitely feels more new, like it's supposed to, I suppose, is the only way to really explain it. I'm happy about that. One issue is where the seat belts mount here is kind of interfering with the center console, so I'm not sure if I'm going to have to get new seat belts out of like an extended cab Ranger that had a center console or what, because the center console kind of overlaps with these seat belts, so I'm going to have to figure something out there. But for now, the rest of this stuff, it all looks factory. It's nice and clean on the inside here. You can't tell at all. Pattern matches front seats. So I'm very happy with this so far. But I think I'm going to have to make a second part of this video about installing that center console. And so I better get to that quick, because quite honestly, that means that until I get some other parts, maybe I'm going to have no armrest at all, which is freaking horrible, and it's worse than what I started with. So guess we'll have to just keep an eye out for that video. Alrighty, well, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. It's pretty much just how to convert your bench seat over to a bucket seat. It started out as being how to install that and a center console, but it's kind of turned into a half part of a two-part series. So keep an eye out for the other video where we'll be installing the center console in this Ranger out of an Explorer. But you know, as far as installing this, you know, converting that bench to a bucket, I'd say this was a real good solution. I'm very happy with the results. It worked out pretty much like factory. Unless you want to take the covers off and look at where I cut the metal, you're not going to know. So I'm very happy. Alrighty, well, thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.